My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Greetings and welcome to Live in Love with Laura. I am so honored to be in this space today. I am actually in Asheville in North Carolina. I don't know how I even get to places like this, and I don't know. I can't even explain it. It's like I just get picked up and put in places to support amazing things, and I'm like moved to tears because I'm here with somebody I literally just met this weekend who had this dream to create a space where youth can go and have a space where they can really grow and learn and develop in ways that we don't necessarily get in the regular educational system.
Cicada empowers visionary, intuitive, sensitive teens to fully express themselves in society in the most empowering and beneficial form possible.
Not to say the education system is horrible, but you know, it's not for everybody, and a lot of times we have angry youth or going through a lot of stuff and traumas and all kinds of things, and to be able to meet someone who's willing and ready to support them on a totally different level is just so moving to me. She invited us to come and see the space that she's considering to make magic happen and to bring in these youth and really give them a home. And her mother energy and her nurturing and love, I can just tell, is going to be such a huge part in making this place really a home.
Welcome home.
I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm going to show you around and really introduce you to what it's all about. We're walking up the dirt path of the driveway, and all of a sudden there's these two owls on one side of the property, and they come soaring across to the other side of the property, and I'm thinking, this could be a sign. So we get closer to the fence gate part where we enter the yard, and these dogs come running up and they're barking and like all protective, and then as soon as they approach us, ease right up. You know, and we're taking pictures and we're talking to the land broker, we're checking out the land and everything, and we get to the fences where the horses are, and you could tell these horses just were not well kept at all, just not really taken care of, and the one horse was super territorial and pushing the other horse out of the way. And as soon as Sylvie walks up to the fence, that territorial horse goes up to her and just starts leaning his head into her, and then leaning the other side of its head into her, and starts licking her hands and completely embraces her graciously, as if to know that she was here for this land. It was beautiful. Then we're walking through the farm, and I look down, and there's these two rocks with a stick to make a smiling face, and I'm like, okay, this just keeps getting better and better. Then at one point, Sylvie and the land broker are wandering around, and Eric's kind of off doing pictures, and I start walking in the back part, and there's these paths, and the trees are like canopying over it and making these doorways through the nature, and then I hear there's like about 30 birds for sure. So I start following the sound of these birds, and I see one bird, I'm like, oh, there they are. So I follow down this little hill and like through this pathway and like another archway, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Get into this open space. I no longer hear the birds. I no longer see any birds, like nothing. But I step into this opening, and there's all these trees, and they're just surrounded by green vinery, and the sun is poking out and just shining onto the space, and it's so epic. Felt like I walked through Avatar, like live people Avatar. It was so beautiful. And you have to remember that this time of year, it's not like it's luscious green summer trees, yet it looked luscious green and gorgeous. I can only imagine what it's like in the spring and in the summertime. And we all just like stand there and just feel this energy that's so powerful. And just up the way a little bit, we're standing there, and I'm like, oh my god, this would be a perfect spot for ceremonies. You could put fire pit here. And Sylvie's like, yep, for sure. And, you know, it was incredible. So we continue walking through the farmland, and we eventually make it back to our cars. And, I mean, we could tell that Sylvie's trying to keep it cool and like professional, but was super excited with this space, and we were super excited about it as well, obviously. But she goes to the car and she goes, guys, I gotta show you something. She pulls out this folder, it's kind of like fallen all over the place, and she puts it on the hood of the car. She opens it up, and there's a drawing there, and it looks like a kid's drawing because it's all done with different color magic markers. And we look down, And if I looked up and took a picture like this of the land and put it next to it, and I looked at this picture that she drew, it would be like this. It was identical.
Been drawn for 10 years already. And this land here already has so much.
That's
It's
incredible.
already been drawn.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Forest Creek.
Yep. Do you remember how the barn was split like that?
Yeah, wow.
And that there was already a barn. There's a space by the river for the kids to meditate.
But the best part about this whole thing is that when she was a kid, she knew that she wanted to do this. She knew she wanted to be a teacher, she wanted to be a psychologist, and she wanted to support youth in this way. When she was a teenager, I think she said she was 14 when it all came to her.
For instance, like that?
Mhm.
That hammock area?
Yep.
Wow, this is pretty
And that there's-
incredible.
And that there was one tall tree in the middle. So
That's exactly it.
And then you have this forest up here, which
Yep.
is exactly what that back piece is,
yeah.
that 19
And
acres.
what'd you say when we went to that clearing? You were like, "That's a really good place for a ceremony circle."
When did
You were
write
like, I
that
already
in?
know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
How long ago was that? That's like years.
About 10 years ago.
10 years ago, she drew up this whole vision of what she thought the place would look like, and we're walking through her dream right now. We're literally walking through her manifestation. It completely blows my mind, and I feel so humbled because it's like these things that I totally believe and totally play with and have fun with, but like when it comes to this kind of level where it's really about helping people and making the world a better place, that just rocks my world, and it makes me feel so happy inside, and I cannot help but share it with you to juice you up. And like, what is it in you that you've always thought about or wondered and wanted to create, and just, you know, maybe it got swept under the rug or put in a box somewhere? Pull it out and look at your life and see, like, how can I create this now? Okay, I would just like to know, how do you feel right now in this moment?
There are no words. There are no words. It's like what I imagine I would feel like on my wedding day and at the birth of my child. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the most perfect moment amplified. It's a multidisciplinary approach that teaches grounding exercises, mindfulness techniques, health, nutrition, deep therapy, and the power of nature to create an authentic learning experience so that you're developing all aspects of you as a human together in unison and not just one aspect versus the other. It's the presence of God. That's what I felt. That's what I feel. And that doesn't have very many words.
So thank you, and
We could really
enjoy.
come together and make this a massive possibility. If Jesus walked out of the farmhouse, that would just be like, yep, that makes sense. That's how powerful this was. It was on Martin Luther King Day. Hello, I have a dream. Let's make it a reality. It's about us until it's not about us anymore, and it's about making the world a better place.